Hi, my name is Samara, and I just want to say I'm very excited to be able to interview you. And for you people that don't know him, he is Rashad McCrory. He is a chief tourist, and I think you guys would be very interested to hear how this interview goes. So, my first question will be, although I know where you're from, my international viewers might not. So, can you please say it?
I'm from Harlem, New York City, born and raised.
Wow. Harlem, I'm from the Bronx.
That's my brother Burrow. My sister from my brother Burrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did you want to be a tour guide?
I've been an event planner for a long time prior to me doing tours. When I was younger, my father, the great Henry McCrory, always taught me about the great kings and queens in Africa. For your viewers, I'm what we call foundational Black American or Black American. My mother and my father are from South Carolina. They met in New York City. So me and all my siblings are from New York City. I was born and raised in Harlem Hospital. My father used to always teach me that what you see on television about Africa isn't always true. So he made sure he taught me about agriculture, the great kings and queens of Africa, like I said before, and that black was beautiful. Later on in my life, I was an event planner. And when I made my second trip to Africa in 2015, looking for business opportunities, investments, I said to myself, if I could get 30 to 50 people a week to come to events in New York City, I can get 30 to 50 people a year to visit Mother Africa.
Well, I think that's a very smart idea because now you're a chief guide. So,
Chief of Tourism.
yes.
The first chief of tourism in all of Ghana. My title is called Insura Shaheen. Insura Shaheen. I want to look and see King. I'm the first chief of tourism in all of Ghana, and I was installed by the ancient town of Elmina.
Wow.
Elmina is the home of Elmina Slave Dungeon. It's technically Slave Castle. We call it Slave Dungeon, and it's the home of the Door of No Return. Elmina is also the first European settlement in all of West Africa. They actually say Christopher Columbus, who never actually been to America, he actually was in Ghana, in Elmina. And also, Elmina Slave Dungeon is the first European structure in all of West Africa. So incorporating that with the transatlantic slave trade, which many Black Americans are known to have come to America for the first time in 1619. It's an honor to be named the first ever chief of tourism in Ghana in the ancient town of Elmina.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Like I have to admit that. For you to be the first, bravo. You're welcome. So, what other countries have you traveled to in Africa?
I've been to Kenya, Rwanda, Nigeria, Togo, Benin, Egypt, and I think that's it. I think that's it. Yes, that's my list. That's my list. That's my list. And Uganda. Oh, I'm sorry. And Uganda. So, and I love Uganda. Uganda. Secret tip for y'all. So, Uganda is amazing. So those are the countries that I've traveled to.
Wow. So, out of all the countries that you've traveled to, which one is your favorite?
I don't necessarily have a favorite. I would say Ghana's my favorite. Ghana has done the most for me as far as just my personal growth and development from into a man, a chief, a king. But every country has its own blessing, has its own lesson. Let's take Egypt for example. My father also taught me about the great pharaohs of Egypt, like Ptahhotep. And anytime I go to Egypt, I always come back with just some amazing ideas. Like I go to Egypt and I'm in Egypt, I'm going to the pyramids, I'm going to the Sphinx, I'm going to the Nile River, I'm going to ancient Luxors and seeing the statues that are 30, 50 feet high.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then maybe about a month later, I have this idea moment where it's just like, why I've never thought of that. And then I implement those plans and it just, it's just wonderful. Kenya is very grounding. I always come back to Kenya a little bit more relaxed, which is interesting because Ghana is known as the second safest country in all of Africa. And so sometimes being in Ghana so long, you kind of think the whole continent is relax and you can be free. Then you go to places like Nigeria and Kenya, they remind you got to be on your toes. But you from New York, you from the Bronx, so you got it. You got that. So it's just you have to travel for yourself. There's 54 countries in Africa, so that's 54 ideas and places that you can study and listen to and and really learn and grow from.
Yes. Right now, although we're just getting started, I'm already feeling very inspired.
Oh, great, 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 great. You inspire me also. Yeah.
So, what would you want kids stateside to know about the continent of Africa?
The continent of Africa it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. The people are wonderful. The people are loving. The people are caring. Just like the rest of the world, you have to be careful who you trust and be careful where you go. However, the things that you see on television that are still falsely propagated about Africa are not true. The infrastructure is wonderful in a lot of places. This is one of the five-star hotels that we're in all of Ghana. That's a beautiful place. Fun activities for both children and adults, whether it's culture that you like, whether it's history that you like, whether it's food that you like, whether it's excitement and entertainment. And it's a growing and developing country. So a lot of these ancient countries in Europe, it is what it is. But Africa, specifically Ghana and some of the other countries that I visit, they're still growing and developing. So you can be your particular age now, and 10, 20 years from now, it'll be a whole totally different place. Yeah.
Because this country is constantly growing, constantly doing better for itself than it did the last few years.
Yes. As we all should be. As we all should be as people. Yeah.
Guys, remember my shirt? Grow beyond yourself? That's exactly what Ghana's doing. So, what did you expect to see in Ghana before the first time that you came here?
Oh, just black excellence. My father prepared me well. He prepared me well. So I was expecting to see great infrastructure, beautiful people, real fruit, lavish colors, and just excitement. So when I first came, I was just like really excited because I was like, what am I going to see that I'm not used to seeing? Because I really didn't know, but I wasn't as shocked. But then there were certain things that shocked me. I'll let you know what those are in a few.
You said real fruit, so I want to know why you say that.
Because when I was your age, about when I was your age, true story, they first time I had grapes or watermelon with no seeds in them, it was like, these are grapes, these are watermelon, they don't have no seeds in it. Oh my God, this is amazing. And now living in the United States, there's children, there's people in their 20s and 30s that never had fruit with real seeds in it, never had watermelon with seeds, grapes with seeds, unless they traveled outside of the US. So I know the fruit here is real. When you eat chicken, forgive me, vegans and vegetarians, but when you eat chicken, the chicken might have been eating real worms for the ground, real rice. The chicken might have been alive early in the week. In America, the chicken might not have ever been, depending on where you get your chicken from. But it's just an amazing experience. Like the food is healthier. The sunlight. I'm from New York City. You're from the Bronx. You have to strategically place yourself to get sunlight. You got to go to the park. You got to go stand on the corner.
There's a whole bunch of tall buildings that shade that.
Yes. The big skyscrapers, our beautiful skyscrapers, unfortunately, they block out the sun. So here we get our vitamin D. A lot of people travel in America who feel like they're sick. They come here, they start feeling better because they're getting vitamin D. So a lot of people in America, you may be suffering from depression or certain levels of anxiety. And just being here and getting natural sunlight every day consistently through the natural flow of your day, even right there, that's a big health benefit.
It is. Not also speaking about that, like there's a whole bunch of pollution back there, and you see in Ghana, though there is pollution here, it's not as much. So you still have, as you guys can see, clear blue skies, and it just looks really beautiful. But did your expectations meet your reality?
Yes, and it surpassed them. And great job coming back to that question. Here in America, as a Black American, as I talked about before, in America being a melting pot, a multicultural society, when I leave my house, I may go to the corner store. And Yemenis, which are Arabic, they own the corner store. Then I may go to the Chinese store. Then I may go to the Chinese owned laundromat, the 99-cent Indian store, the the European-owned supermarket, the Latinos at the check cashing place. But here, for the first time in my life, I really saw all black everything. I saw black people on all the billboards, black people on all the television, all the politicians were blacks, all the doctors were black, all the lawyers were black, all the vendors and business owners, everything was black, and I've never seen that before. I joke with my friends. I said the only thing black people we really feel like we own in America are barbershops. And that's the only thing we got a monopoly on. So just seeing that and just having it consistently just reinforced in my head over and over. Yeah, yeah. I never been to the Caribbean islands. So when I started going to coming to Africa, this was my first time really seeing this, and that's one of the things that just took me back. The first time I came to Ghana, I was staying in Akwa the Akwa Mountains, specifically Akropong. And on the way from Accra on the way from the Akwa Mountains back to Accra, there used to be this huge billboard of a chief. It's not there anymore. I'm talking about maybe like a 50, 70-foot billboard, just like the way I talked about the Luxor pyramids. The Luxor statues. And I was just like, wow. I was like, this was just this African chief, and he had his gold, and I'm dressed like that now. Wow, I'm not a paramount king or a king of kings, but it was just like, wow, look at this. This I've never seen anything like that before, and even going back to it, I still sometimes just marvel at seeing all the African names as in the credits. I come to your office, and everybody there look like me. And in being black in America, I think that's something that young black entrepreneurs and young black children need to see more. Especially blacks who don't travel the Caribbean, don't have Caribbean background, who can't go home to Haiti, can't go home to Jamaica or to Trinidad or St. Croix, any of those places, and see that for themselves. Just the young black urban youth needs a variety of different role models to have different, like everything can't be an entertainer or an actor or unfortunately a drug dealer or a barber. We need different fields where we have a multitude of professionals, not just one or two doctors or dentists or things of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I appreciate about here in Ghana, because in Ghana, the African people support their own instead of back home. Although there's a variety of different people, it's like we'll go with this group, you go with your own group. It's like kind of standoffish.
Sometimes, another conversation for another. Yeah.
Have you ever had a moment where people had made you second guess about about tourism?
Yeah, I'm protective with my space, my personal space and my personal energy. And sometimes I say I don't want so many people to have access to me. So that's always been the biggest question, how I personally feel about tourism. Like, you have different people coming from all over the world. Many wonderful people, some not so wonderful people. Many healthy people, some not so healthy people. Everybody goes on their own path. And sometimes I have to have spiritual practices, whether I may go to the beach and meditate. I may sit out in the sun and meditate. Sometimes I might turn my phone off for days on end just to kind of just clear my mind and pray and just kind of get my energy back in sync, because when you have people pulling on you from so many different directions, now I'm now mean chief, I have responsibilities to the village and the community, and I'm on TV and social network and so many, yeah. So sometimes I want to just kind of just pull back and seclude myself, not to get away from people, yeah, to get away from people, but more just to kind of revigorate myself. And self care is important. A lot of times people don't take care of themselves, and then they wonder why they may be aging a little faster, why they may be stressed, why they're lashing out at somebody, whether it's kids or a partner. So we have to take care of ourselves. We may want to give to people, you may want to make people happy, but you also got to remember to take care of yourself first. Sometimes we got to remember, save ourselves first, make sure we're healthy first, because if we're hurt, we're broken, we're tired, we stress, we can't give the proper nutrition or nurturing to other people.
That's well said. You viewers, listen. So my last question will be, do you have any encouraging words for kids?
For the kids out there, keep your confidence. Always believe in yourself. You can do anything that you put your mind to. It can take days, it could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years. Everything has a process. So at times when other kids are being cruel, or even adults are being cruel and may saying things that may hurt your feelings or make you feel like you can't do something, always believe in yourself and understand that kids and adults say things that they don't mean.
Well, you guys listen to it. I hope you guys also had a fun time because I enjoyed this interview a lot. Thank you so much.
Bronx, come on, you my sister. Yeah. At home, I can walk 10 minutes to the Bronx. 10 minutes from Yankee Stadium. I'm about a 15-minute walk from Yankee Stadium. Yeah, and maybe a 5-minute walk from Third Avenue. 10-minute walk from Third Avenue. Yeah.
You guys don't know how much I enjoyed this interview. To see someone that's quite close to where I used to live and where I'm from. But you guys, until next time, see ya.